Imagine AI analyzing medical images, to understand diseases and even predict how patients are going to do, all with incredible accuracy.
It might sound like something straight out of science fiction.
It really does.
But thanks to these things called foundation models, it's actually closer to reality than a lot of people think.
And that's what we're diving into today,
Yeah.
this foundation model called Atlas.
It's a cutting-edge model for pathology.
Yeah, developed by, it was collaboration, right?
Yeah, huge collaboration between the Mayo Clinic Charité and agnostics.
Wow, so we're talking about some serious players here.
Oh, yeah. Big names.
And we're going to be going straight to the source.
Straight to the source.
They've got the original research paper.
Yep.
So we're getting all this straight from the scientists themselves.
And this isn't just about, fancy algorithms and all that.
Right.
This is really about how we're going to be doing healthcare in the future.
Yeah, this could completely change how diseases are diagnosed, how they're treated.
Potentially leading to earlier detection, more personalized therapies, just better outcomes for patients all around.
So to understand Atlas, we really need to start with foundation models.
Absolutely.
They're a revolutionary type of AI that are changing the game in a lot of different fields, especially in medicine.
Yeah, for sure.
So for those of us who aren't AI experts,
Right.
can you break down what a foundation model actually keeps them?
Okay, so think of it this way. A foundation model, it's kind of like a student who's spent years absorbing information from this massive library, right? Every textbook, every research paper, every piece of data they can get their hands on.
Wow.
And it learns from these huge data sets and builds this deep understanding of all the patterns and relationships.
Like you can see the connection.
Yeah, exactly. And this means that the model possesses a really broad understanding of medical concepts. So it can adapt to a bunch of different specialized tasks.
Without having to start from scratch every time.
Right, without retraining, which is huge.
And that's especially important in healthcare, I imagine.
Extremely important because, healthcare is full of variability.
Oh, for sure.
You've got different diseases, different patient populations, different imaging techniques, labs. It's just all over the place.
Right. It's very nuanced.
Yeah. So trying to build an AI that can handle all that nuance,
right,
it's incredibly challenging.
That's a tall order.
Yeah.
And that's where Atlas comes in.
Exactly.
It's a foundation model that's specifically designed for pathology.
That's right.
Which is the study of diseases at a microscopic level.
Exactly.
And it was trained on a massive data set.
Huge data set.
Over 1.2 million histopathology images from nearly 500,000 cases.
It's mind-boggling.
It really is. What kinds of images are we even talking about here?
We're talking about a huge variety, different diseases, various types of tissue stains, different scanners that they use to create the images. The researchers really focused on making sure that the data set was diverse.
Which is crucial for a model like this, right?
It's absolutely crucial.
Why is that diversity so important?
Okay, so it makes Atlas more robust, and it's better prepared to handle the real world.
Right, because the real world is messy.
It is. It's very messy.
It's not all nice and clean data sets.
Exactly. So if you only trained an AI on images from one type of scanner, for example, it might not work as well when it comes across images from a different scanner in a clinical setting.
Oh, I see.
So by training it on this diverse data set, Atlas can adapt to those different situations.
So it's like you're giving the AI a well-rounded education.
Exactly.
Preparing it for anything it might encounter in the real world.
That's a great way to put it.
So it's not just about the quantity of the data, it's about the quality and the diversity.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got this AI that's trained on this massive and diverse data set. How does it actually stack up against the competition?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
So Atlas, it isn't actually the largest model out there.
Really?
Yeah, some models are trained on even bigger data sets.
Wow.
Or they have more parameters, which are basically like, the knobs and dials that the AI uses to make decisions.
Okay, but Atlas is still the best performer.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That is kind of crazy.
So the researchers, they compared Atlas against several other leading foundation models using 21 different benchmark data sets, which are like standardized tests for AI. Each one's designed to evaluate a specific skill.
I see.
And in these AI Olympics, you could say Atlas consistently took home the gold.
Wow.
It outperformed even larger models on a whole range of tasks, from predicting gene expression levels to identifying cancer subtypes to spotting these tiny structures within cells.
So it's not just about size in the AI world.
It really isn't. It's about how you train the AI and the quality of the data it learns from.
So what were some of the specific tasks that Atlas aced? What can it actually do?
Well, for starters, Atlas can predict gene expression levels with remarkable accuracy just by looking at tissue images.
Wait, so it can tell what genes are active in a cell just from an image?
Yep, pretty much.
That's incredible.
It's pretty wild.
That has profound implications.
It really does, because remember, genes are like blueprints for our cells, right? Right, that dictate how they function.
Exactly. And Atlas has learned to recognize these subtle patterns in the images that actually correlate with the activity of specific genes.
Wow.
So this could be absolutely revolutionary for personalized medicine.
How so?
Well, imagine being able to predict how a patient's going to respond to a particular treatment based on their unique gene expression profile.
That would be game-changing.
It really would.
What other tasks does this image analysis enable Atlas to perform?
It's also really good at identifying molecular mutations like microsatellite instability or MSI for short, which is a common marker in certain types of cancers.
So instead of doing a separate genetic test, you could potentially get that information just from analyzing a tissue sample with Atlas.
Potentially, yeah.
And when it comes to cancer diagnosis and treatment, time is of the essence.
Absolutely. The faster we can get that information, the better.
I'm really starting to see how this could revolutionize diagnostics.
Yeah.
What about on the morphology side? You mentioned Atlas can identify these tiny structures within cells.
Right, and that's really important for things like detecting tumor-infiltrating lymphocytes, or TILs.
Okay.
These are immune cells that have actually infiltrated the tumor, and their presence and their density can be a really powerful predictor of how well a patient will respond to certain cancer treatments.
So Atlas could help oncologists determine the best course of treatment.
Absolutely. It can even classify cancer subtypes with high accuracy, which can further inform treatment decisions.
It's bigger than just analyzing images.
It is.
It's about using AI to reach a whole new level of understanding about disease and treatment.
Yeah, I totally agree. And what's really fascinating is how Atlas achieves this level of performance across so many different tasks.
Right, it's not a one-trick pony.
It's not, and it really highlights the power of these foundation models.
So what does this all mean? What are the key takeaways from this research?
I think first and foremost, Atlas demonstrates the incredible potential of foundation models in pathology. It's a clear sign that we're moving towards a future where AI plays a central role in how we diagnose and treat diseases.
It's exciting and a little bit scary at the same time.
It is. It's both of those things.
What else?
And the fact that Atlas outperformed these larger models tells us that bigger isn't always better.
Interesting.
It's all about how you train the AI and the quality of the data it learns from.
So that brings up a really interesting question. Are we reaching a point where the quality and diversity of data are becoming the biggest bottlenecks in AI development?
It's definitely a critical factor to consider.
Okay.
We need more diverse and publicly available benchmark data sets to further evaluate and improve these foundation models and make sure that these AI systems are robust, reliable, and ultimately beneficial for patients.
So when we zoom out a bit, how will all of this actually impact the future of healthcare?
The possibilities are truly staggering. Just imagine earlier and more accurate diagnoses leading to faster and more effective treatment. Imagine personalized treatment plans tailored to your unique biology. Imagine AI accelerating drug discovery and helping us develop therapies for diseases that currently have no cure.
It's a lot to take in. It really is exciting. So much potential. But I know we have even more to discuss about Atlas and its implications. So let's dive back in after a short break.
Welcome back. Before we paused, we were talking about all the potential benefits of Atlas and how it could really change healthcare, but I think it's worth shifting our focus back to the research for a minute. One thing that really stood out to me in the paper was just how much emphasis they put on the training process.
You mean how they actually taught Atlas to do all these amazing things?
Yeah, like they didn't just show the AI a ton of images and hope for the best.
Right.
They used a very specific approach.
Yeah.
It's called self-supervised learning.
Self-supervised? What does that even mean?
So it's kind of like how we learn as humans.
Okay.
We're not explicitly taught everything, right?
Yeah, we learn by observing.
Exactly. So instead of labeling every single image, the AI is presented with this puzzle.
A puzzle.
Yeah, to decipher the patterns and relationships in the data itself.
So instead of being spoon-fed information, it's given the tools to learn on its own.
Yeah. That's the beauty of self-supervised learning.
That's fascinating.
It lets the AI identify those patterns independently by analyzing the data without relying on us humans to label each image.
So for Atlas, they basically gave it this mountain of pathology images and said, figure it out.
It's a little more complicated than that. But yeah, you're on the right track. They used a technique called contrastive learning.
Contrastive learning.
Yeah, it involves showing the AI pairs of images.
Yeah.
Some are similar, some are different, and it has to figure out which ones belong together.
Ah.
This trains the model to pick up on these tiny differences in the images, and it really pushes it to develop this sophisticated understanding of the visual patterns in pathology.
So it's like they're training the AI to see the subtle details that a non-expert might miss.
Exactly, and that's one of the key advantages of these foundation models. They can learn these really complex, high-level representations of the data, which can then be used for all sorts of different tasks.
We've talked about the training, the performance, the potential benefits. But what about the potential downsides that every new technology comes with challenges and risks? What are some of your biggest concerns when it comes to AI in healthcare?
You're absolutely right. It's not all sunshine and roses.
Right.
One thing that comes up a lot is the impact on the workforce. Some people are worried that AI is going to replace doctors and other healthcare professionals.
It's a valid concern. I mean, we've seen automation change so many industries already.
For sure, but I think it's more likely that AI will help healthcare professionals rather than replace them completely. You know, AI can take care of those repetitive tasks.
Right.
And it can analyze huge amounts of data, freeing up doctors to spend more time on the things that really require a human touch.
Yeah.
You know, empathy, communication, complex decision-making.
So it's more like a powerful assistant helping them make better and more informed decisions.
Exactly. But we need to make sure that healthcare professionals are trained properly to use these AI tools effectively and understand their limitations.
There's a big educational component there.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just about the tech itself. We have to think about how to integrate it into existing workflows in a way that's responsible and ethical.
It seems like there's a lot of work to be done, both on the technical side and the societal side.
Definitely. But the potential benefits are just so huge, we can't ignore this path.
I agree. This is one of the most exciting areas of research right now, and it has the potential to really change people's lives for the better.
Absolutely.
The scale of this project is just mind-boggling, over 1 million images. It's incredible.
It really speaks to the power of collaboration. This wasn't just a few researchers working in a lab. This was a massive effort involving multiple institutions, countless experts, all working towards a common goal.
It's amazing what can be accomplished when people come together to solve big problems. And it reminds us that we're still really at the beginning of this whole AI revolution.
Oh, yeah. We're just scratching the surface.
Just imagine what we'll be able to achieve in the years to come as these technologies continue to evolve.
It's an exciting time to be in this field. The development of Atlas, with its collaborative approach and impressive results, really points to a positive direction for the future of healthcare.
It does. I'm excited to see where this all goes. We still have so much more to unpack with Atlas and its implications. So let's continue our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground in our deep dive into Atlas, this remarkable AI that's making waves in pathology, from understanding the basics of foundation models to diving into how Atlas was trained, its incredible performance, and what this could all mean for the future of healthcare. It's been quite a journey.
It really has. And while the potential benefits are huge, we have to remember that we're still really just at the beginning of this technological revolution. There's so much more to discover and explore as we go forward.
One thing that really stuck with me is just the sheer scale of the data involved, over 1 million images. It's a real testament to the power of big data and what we can achieve when researchers work together on this kind of scale.
It really is a remarkable accomplishment in collaborative science, but it doesn't stop with Atlas. This research also shows just how important it is to keep pushing those boundaries. The authors themselves talked about needing even more diverse and publicly available benchmark data sets.
We talked about that a little bit earlier, but why is that so crucial? I mean, Atlas seems to be doing incredibly well already.
Well, think about it this way. Atlas passed its tests with flying colors, top marks on all 21 benchmark data sets. But what if those tests weren't actually hard enough? What if they didn't really capture the full complexity of real-world pathology?
So it's like studying for an exam and only focusing on the easy questions and then being surprised by the harder ones when you actually take the test.
Yeah, exactly. To really make sure that these AI systems are robust and ready for the real world, we need to challenge them with tougher questions. And that's where these diverse data sets come in. They provide a more complete picture, one that's more realistic with all the variations and complexities that we see in real life.
And the publicly available part of that is essential for transparency and collaboration, right?
Absolutely. It allows other scientists to build on this work. They can validate the findings, push the boundaries even further. It's all about fostering a collaborative environment where knowledge is shared and we can all advance together.
It's about democratizing knowledge and making sure that everyone benefits from these incredible advancements.
Exactly, and the development of Atlas with its collaborative nature and those amazing results, it really shows that we're heading in the right direction. This is an incredibly exciting time for AI in healthcare, and the possibilities for the future are truly immense.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to leave our listeners with?
I think the big question is, if AI can get to this level of understanding about disease, what other doors can we open in healthcare? What other mysteries can we solve? Imagine a world where AI can not only diagnose diseases, but predict how they'll progress, personalize treatment plans, and even help us prevent these diseases before they even happen. It's a really exciting prospect, but we have to remember AI is a tool. Its impact ultimately depends on us, how we as a society choose to use it. It's up to us to guide its development and make sure it's used in a way that aligns with our values and our goals for a healthier and more equitable future for everyone.
It's a really powerful message to end on. The future of healthcare is in our hands, and AI is a powerful tool that can help us shape that future for the better. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Atlas and the fascinating world of AI in healthcare. Until next time, stay curious.